Greetings, welcome to Facts About Everything. I'm your host, James Egan, and today on Bond Month, we'll be talking about Goldeneye. Again. But we're not going to talk about the movie, we're going to talk about the video game, Goldeneye 007, which came out in 1997 for the N64. Now you might think, well, that's not a movie. Doesn't matter. I'm going to talk about it because GoldenEye 007 is one of the most significant video games of all time, and it is also the greatest video game ever made based on a movie. So I have to talk about it for Bond Month. Let's have a look. GoldenEye 007 was only made by 9 people. 8 of them had never worked on a video game before. Despite this, it is hailed as one of the most influential shooting games in history. The reason why the game turned out so well, despite the developers' inexperience, is because they didn't know the traditional way to make a game, so they created their own unique system. Players liked this because it was unlike any other shooting game at the time. Each level has multiple objectives. The developers got this idea from Super Mario 64. GoldenEye 007 was completed 6 weeks ahead of schedule. With his spare time, one developer decided to cobble together a multiplayer. That multiplayer was created by one person. This last-minute idea is considered one of the greatest multiplayers in video game history. Nintendo didn't even know it had a multiplayer until the game was finished. You could originally play as Bond actors Roger Moore, Sean Connery, and Timothy Dalton. They were removed to avoid lawsuits, but they can be still accessed with a cheat device. The game was barely released because Nintendo thought the game was too glitchy. They even stopped funding the game for 3 months. The development team worked up to 120 hours per week while developing the game. No one thought this game would be good. Not only were the developers completely inexperienced, but the game was based on a movie. Movie tie-in games rarely do well, since they're usually rushed out to coincide with the film's launch to make more money. E.T. the Extraterrestrial for the Atari was so bad it nearly destroyed the entire video game industry. However, the developers wanted to take their time to make the game perfect, so they released the game 2 years after the movie's release. This made Nintendo even more certain the game would fail, since the movie it's based on had already come and gone. Nevertheless, it went on to be a massive success. In fact, it is the 3rd best-selling game on the Nintendo 64. There is a reference to every Bond film in the game. In the first level, you can see an island in the distance. Using a cheat device, you can access the island. There's nothing on it except a tower and a gun turret. All of the faces of the basic enemies are of the game's developers. The game was intended to be an on-rail shooter like Time Crisis. The film spawned another video game called GoldenEye 007 Reloaded in 2010. Bond's appearance in this game is based on Daniel Craig instead of Pierce Brosnan. And finally, the game won a BAFTA. As it should have. Special thanks to these fine people for all their help. Be sure to subscribe to Facts About Everything. Follow me on Twitter for updates on upcoming videos. Check out my Facebook page to let me know what subjects you want me to talk about in the future. Thanks for watching, see you again.